Hey guys, so a couple of weeks ago I made a video discussing the potential, just a rumour at the time, that FIFA 19 would have the Champions League and Europa League licensing. Back then it looked quite likely, and I can confirm, although it's not 100% official from EA themselves, there has been a massive leak and it seems pretty much impossible to not be true now.
Ik zit samen met Juri Mulder in de studio in Utrecht. En 6-7 dagen per jaar nieuwe updates maken. Ook voor 2019 wordt het spel weer nog mooier omdat de UEFA Champions League en de UEFA Europa League erbij zijn gekomen.
And in FIFA 19 we are going to have, well, stuff like you're seeing on screen right now. So I've spent the last few hours this afternoon on Photoshop just putting together some images, some menu designs and things like that. And I'm just going to discuss with you what I think this means for the FIFA series, especially for career mode, which for me is obviously the most important feature. It's what's built my channel over the years with you guys watching it. And I haven't done so much of it this year compared to other years, but I do plan on going hard on it in FIFA 19 and getting back to my best. So hopefully you're excited for that. So let's just talk through a couple of these pictures that I've made, and then we're going to look at some gameplay from Pro Evo. They've of course got the license until the end of this season, and we're going to see the cutscenes they've got, and you know, some of the menu elements and designs they use, which is always cool. And just have a little chit chat really. So this is the first image I've come up with. It's almost like a Champions League in-game menu. So you know, on FIFA you've got individual tiles, you've got different game modes separated by these tiles. What if there was a Champions League area of the game? I don't know how else to explain it. Just a sub-menu like this, where you have different things you can do within the Champions League. For example, a campaign mode would be really cool. So you pick your team and you just go through a Champions League campaign. You play the group stage, round of 16, quarters, semis, and then the final. Almost like a tournament mode, but it's just Champions League. I think that would be really cool. Then you maybe got quick match. So instead of just a normal exhibition match where you pick your stadium and your teams and the weather and stuff like that, and it just uses normal, boring, kind of default graphics and stuff like that, it would actually be a Champions League match. And maybe if you play at Anfield, you have specific Champions League Anfield designs. You've got the theme song in the background, the soundtrack. It could be a really cool way of showing off the license and having a chance to play against your mate in just a quick Champions League face-off. That'd be pretty cool. So not only is it going to be great for career mode and just FIFA itself, it's going to be huge for Ultimate Team as well, because the Champions League, although it plays some effect on Ultimate Team in terms of, like the cards you would have seen this year, like you can see on screen, the team of the tournament's group stage, which is a really cool concept, but of course you can't really do much more than that, and they didn't have the official licensing for it. So what if they did a Champions League draft mode where you get Champions League players only? And because they've got the license now, they can have proper Champions League Ultimate Team cards with dynamic images. They could do tournament modes like the previous image within Ultimate Team. And I'm sure there's plenty more you could do within Ultimate Team, but the big thing for me is, of course, career mode. And, you know, when you start up a career mode, you're asked if you want to start being in a European competition. Obviously, it's called the Champions Cup or the Euro League. Well, now we've got the official licensing, and it could look something like this, because I don't think they'll change the menus too much. They never really do. It's just a reskin. So I've used some FIFA 18 gameplay images, and I've just kind of adjusted it slightly, so we've got the official Champions League badge at the top. It's just little things like that. You're actually entering into the Champions League. Can we get a hashtag Rest in Peace Champions Cup going in the comments? Also, you could have something like this in the calendar. So instead of seeing those European matches where it's just a picture of Europe, you could have proper branding in that as well. You could see here, like for example, we've got 2 games against Chelsea coming up in the Champions League, and if I move out the way, I can't move, just there, I've changed all that as well. So it can just look much more realistic, and ultimately it would be more fun, I would think, just because it feels more realistic. And I think that's a big thing that FIFA has over the years over, say, Pro Evolution Soccer. I think the gameplay is much more realistic on FIFA and less arcadey at times, especially offline. Don't know if I would say that about Ultimate Team. That's pretty arcadey. But now that they've bought this licensing, I've got a feeling that it could be game over for Pro Evo, because one thing they had over FIFA was the Champions League, you know, and the Europa League. Talking of PES, let's take a look at some of the gameplay you can see in their game, some of the graphics they use, And it looks really cool, and I think we'll be seeing it in FIFA 19.